Hey everybody, welcome back to the Dungeon Dive. Daniel here. I hope you're doing well, and if you're not, I hope you are soon. Okay, hey, something a little different today, something out of my wheelhouse, something unusual. And I'm going to be covering a video game. And there are a few reasons why I'm doing this on the channel. So, first of all, the game is called Moonring, and I am playing it on Steam. And the first reason I'm covering this game is it is 100% free. And I don't mean free to play. A lot of times people hear that a game is free and it's kind of free to play, but you end up having to pay a lot of money to play the game well, to pay to win, or to pay to unlock inventory, or to pay to have the best experience. But no, this game, Moonring, is 100% free, no strings attached. You couldn't even pay money for this game or in this game if you wanted to. It's developed by a guy named Dene Carter, who now has a studio called Fluttermind. And Dene Carter is an industry veteran. He has worked with Bullfrog and Lionhead, and he worked on games like Dungeon Keeper and Fable. And during COVID, he realized that a lot of people's lives really sucked at the time. And so he wanted to make a game to give back to spread some goodwill. And man, did he ever make a fantastic game. So yeah, I am so thankful, Dean. If you watch this, thank you so much for this game. It is amazing. Two, it runs on just about everything. I am recording and playing this game on a 5-year-old non-gaming laptop. And I actually started playing this on the Steam Deck. And with the Steam Deck, I was using a controller interface. On today's video, I'll be using mouse and keyboard. If you want to play this game on your TV, either in Steam Big Picture mode or with the Steam Deck, you can switch over to a UI that's built for controllers. And I'm going to show you how to do that real quick. If you go into your manage setting in Steam and you go to properties and you go to betas and you want to run this game under the experimental test builds, and that will recognize the controller so you can play the game with a controller interface. It takes a little while to get used to. It's definitely made for mouse and keyboard. Three, this game should appeal to people who like the Dungeon Dive, who like the kinds of tabletop games that we cover on the channel. It has an overland adventure. It has dungeon crawling. There are random encounters. There is loot, and there's a lot of mood and mystery. It is a digital dungeon diving game. If this game was made as a tabletop game, it could very well be in my top 10 games of all time. It's fantastic. Four, it's really, really fun. I love this game. I've had so much time. I've played 11 hours so far. And today we're going to start over. And I've started over a few times. I have fun starting over. And five, before I started playing this game, just a few weeks before I even knew about the game, I was thinking to myself, I wanted to play old school style game like Ultima, but with some modern amenities. And my God, that is exactly what Moonring is. It is basically an old school Ultima style game with some modern things going on. So let's just start playing the game here. All right, we'll launch the game. And we are going to start a new game. So I am going to, let's see here. Delete progress. There we go. Delete your progress. Yes. All right. So we'll start a brand new game. So this game, Moonring, it is old school in the way that it doesn't have a lot of hand-holding. There are some good tutorials as you start in the beginning, and we're going to play for maybe 45 minutes or so, maybe an hour. We'll go through the starting dungeon and set up, talk a little bit about the game, and then I think we'll head out to 2 different towns so you can kind of get an experience of what the game is like. So we won't be playing with permadeath. This game has some rogue-like elements, some rogue-lite elements, but the world is persistent. The dungeons are instanced, so you'll see what I mean as we go. And I think we'll just start the new game. What will we call ourselves? Of course, we will call ourselves Kragor. All right. So now it's building the world here. So the overworld is not randomly generated. The overworld is the same every time. There are random events that happen, and there are things that you can discover. There are random encounters, but you will have persistent towns and persistent locations for dungeons. But when you enter those dungeons, the dungeons are randomly generated, and you have to complete the entire dungeon with one life. If you die, you're kicked back out to the start of the dungeon, and you will have to start again. But most of the dungeons aren't very long. Here we can say, so movement. You can move by pressing the cursor, WASD keys, or use the left mouse button. So yeah, so there's your guy right there. There's Kragor, and he moves around. Now, this is an old school game. It used bumping. So yes, bumping is how you interact with things. My favorite bumping game is Ys, the first Ys game, Ys 1 by Falcom. I love Falcom so much. But let's take a look at the interface here. Actually, let's leave our little bedroom. So this is our farm that we start the game on, or start the game in. And over here on the left, we have our kind of our main kind of inventory screen, or not, information screen. So this tells us our factions. There are 5 different religious factions that we can follow in the game. We have our health up here. We have our food. So we want to make sure we eat food. If our food goes down to 0, we will be able to restore our poise. And our poise is kind of our defense. And whenever we take damage, our poise goes down first, and then we will start losing health. But our poise regenerates. If our food goes down, our poise doesn't regenerate. This is your movement speed based on your encumbrance. This is how many ranged weapons you have. I think right now I have some stones. I have 10 stones. This is energy. Energy is used to cast spells and use abilities. I don't have any right now. And this is our lantern. Our lantern we can fill with oil, and that will protect us from this magical fog that can cause madness. Now, if we hit the I key, we will go into our main screen here, our character screen. And here is all of our... All right, so let's see. There we go. Okay, so this here tells us our melee stats, our ranged stats, our defense stats. And then here we have our inventory. And so we have all inventory. We have our melee. So right now I have a dagger equipped, ranged 10 rocks, armor. I have a cap, cotton tunic, and leggings. And we have more information over here if we want it. Food, I have 5 bright fruit. Alchemy, I have ward oil. So that's the oil that I can put in my lantern to protect me from the madness. I don't have any devices. I have some camps. I have a life stone that can help heal me. I have my amber ward. That's my lantern. I have 5 kindling I can use for trade. Or you really want to stock up on kindling, because you need 10 kindling in order to use your camp kit. And the camp kit is one of the only ways that you can heal while you're out in the wilderness without having to rest, without having to pay to stay at an inn or something like that. I have no quests right now, and that's it. Okay. So if we go to the G screen, we can see our gods, and we can devote ourselves to a god. And when you devote yourself to the god, you can start learning their skills, and the skills you can use for when you are in combat. And what's interesting is there is no XP in this game, so you don't need to grind for XP. The way you level up your skills is by doing these side quests for the gods. We'll talk a little bit more about that later. If you press M, also you will bring out your map. And so right now we are in our small farming town of Yarrow, or Yarrow Farms. Okay, so let's start exploring. So I've played the first few hours of this game quite a bit, so I kind of know what to do. All right, so the faint dotted square around your character is the detection radius. So as you are moving around, if things are inside your detection radius, they can detect you. If you go on quiet mode, your detection radius gets smaller, but you also move a lot slower. All right, so we can press enter to talk. So you can speak to people, typing short words or phrases, so you do need to type a little bit. Pressing enter will say whatever word is shown, but you also can have these words that are floating above your character, and those are suggestions that you might want to say. Okay, so Calera here. Maybe your dream will come tonight. Dreams? You will finally know which god has chosen you. Okay, finally. You are a little older than most dreamless. I wonder what dear Karam would have made of it. Who's Karam? Poor Karam, a kind soul through and through. We must keep the farm neutral. It was important to both of us, was? I'm sure you miss them too. Always be wary of amber. What's amber? The mist will drive you mad, and the beasts it hides. Let's not speak of such terrible things. Beasts? Few survive seeing them. Poor Karam. So it sounds like Karam must have gotten attacked by some beasts in the amber. So some of those words were highlighted. Those are the words that you can type to continue that conversation. Sometimes you will learn new keywords to say, and you can keep track of all of the keywords and everything that we have in our notes. So the notes, this is one of the modern amenities in this game, is it keeps track of everything that you have learned while you are playing. And to do well in this game, to make progress, you do need to look at these notes quite often and remember things, because the game doesn't hold your hand very often. Okay, so we learned a little bit about the amber. We learned a little bit about Karam. He must have gotten attacked by some beasts. And let's do some more exploring, because there is a dungeon that we can go to in our farm. All right, so if we head up here, we can read this sign, and that is the Hawthorne, the Hawthorne Family Cemetery. And the door here is open. We can read these the grave reads, Mr. Kibbles, you hated everyone. We loved you regardless. Or Grand Hawthorne, at rest at last. And let's see, finally here we have, to my beloved Karam, Amber took you from the world, but not my heart. And then here we have a door, and it is locked. We need the graveyard key. Okay, where do we find the graveyard key? Well, let's go down here and explore. I think it's the barn or the storeroom down here. So we'll head in here. And here we go. Use the Q key to enter quiet mode. And actions take twice as long. All right, so we're going to go into quiet mode. And we're moving in here. While quiet, you can reduce your detection radius further by standing near walls or other cover. Waiting quietly will decrease it even more. So, like other rogue style games, this game is actually turn-based. And so enemies will react when you react. As long as you are still, as long as you're not doing anything, the enemies won't move. So on the screen here, you can see that little beetle. He's asleep, and we could wait. I don't think he's going to wake up, so let's go up to him. So range combat, we can wake him up by throwing a rock at him. We'll hit R. There's our targeting reticle. All right, we'll throw the rock. Boom. Okay, so we did 2 times damage because he was sleeping. How rude of us to wake up this bug. But now he is going to attack us, and to attack him, we just bump into him. All right, there we go. So as you can see, my poise up on the top screen, the flashing shield there, my poise went down to 40. Now as I wait, it's going to regenerate. Okay, all right. Now I picked up some a scrap there that I can sell. We can go over here and we can click open that barrel you added. So the graveyard key is in the locked chest behind the farmhouse false wall. Beyond the graves is a cave. I hid a carved stone within it. Find the stone, find others who recognize its sign, and may the gods and my beloved be forever blind. Signed, your loving guardian, Karam. Okay, so we found this note from Karam. You scribble the message in your notebook. Okay, so this tells us about our notebook. We don't want to leave this area. I'm going to smash open that crate, and then I'm going to go into this cobweb and grab this key. And as you can see, it's flashing vulnerable. And vulnerable means that that I will take more damage if I take damage. And I got that from going into that cobweb. So now we have a key, but we need to use that key. Let's see. Does that key open up this door over here? I know the answer, but let's see. No, we need the graveyard key. So we did learn about a hidden chest though. And if we go over here, we can see this chest down in the house. Well, how do we get into there? Well, let's go into this room here. And hey, secrets. Sometimes even familiar things such as walls may hide secrets. Look out for anomalies and bump into anything that looks different. So we heard that noise. Now we'll bump and we find a secret door. And now we can open up this. We unlocked it with the small key. We open this up to get the graveyard key. Okay, so now we can enter the dungeon. However, We do have these 2 bookshelves here. We can check them, take a book. The book contains a book on mushrooms, the farming and animal husbandry, as well as a log of the farmer's finances. You find a book titled Ancient Siberune 6. One word catches your eye, Era, which means fortress. Interesting. We can check that book too by going into our notes section and going to our books. So we have a dictionary. So the dictionary will give you words that you might want to use in conversation that maybe won't appear bolded. And so we have Ancient Siberune 6. One word catches your eye, the word era, and that means fortress. Okay, I don't know what all that means right now, but maybe that will make sense later. Okay, but let's head up here and go into, we can unlock this door now. Okay, and now we see our first dungeon entrance. So you have found the entrance to a dungeon. Note that dungeons can be reconfigured by using magical items over their entrance. So you can force the dungeon to randomize and press enter or left click your character if you still wish to enter. Okay, so now we get our warning about the dungeon. This is a dungeon. The doors will lock once you enter. You will have to find the master key to leave. If you die, the dungeon will reconfigure. So this is where the rogue-lite elements come into play, but there's very, very, if any, little penalty for dying. So that's another kind of modern amenity. All right, here we go. So we have entered a dungeon. Here, the map will be vital to keeping track of things, so we can close that. And if we hit our map, that shows us where we are. Okay, I like to explore the dungeons on quiet mode because you're not making much noise, and if there are any traps, you can easily detect them. Now, because there's no experience in this game, the main thing you want to get is money, and those are the guineas. So we just found some money. And so when you're in combat, you don't need to grind for XP, because the more combat you do, it's actually kind of a detriment, because you can end up just losing health and then having to buy health potions or things like that. So combat, you don't need to spend a lot of time in this game doing combat, but it can be beneficial also for collecting scraps of things like hides and carapaces. So things that you can sell to get money. So here's a sleeping bug. Let's attack him. And there we go. Okay, we got the chitin there. Scraps of ancient metal. So scraps can be sold. Let's do right wall strats. We'll follow the walls around to the right. So, all right, we got him. So as you can see, sometimes those squares will be flashing, like that one that just flashed in the upper left corner. That kind of symbolizes that we can hear something over there. So it's probably some kind of monster skittering about. Okay, so there's an arrow, a bolt. I don't have a crossbow or anything else, so I can't use that. Okay, so he detected me. And so you can't attack at diagonals in this game. It is a old school rogue. And so if I wait for this bug to come towards me, I will get to attack it before it attacks me, because I think the bug only has one action point. All right, there we go. I'll attack. He ran away. Attacked. Okay, 59 guineas, good. Let's see if he's going to come towards me. There we go. Oh, okay, so when you get surrounded, when you are surrounded in a roguelike, that can be very deadly. You can die very, very quickly in games like this, as I'm sure some of you know. You'll be doing really well, then all of a sudden, one bad move, and you will, you will just die. So I already stopped doing my right wall strats, but that's okay. Let's go kill this guy. So in this main dungeon, in this first little dungeon, we are just looking for the master key. These are oil containers, and they can contain oil that you can use to refill your lantern if that little drop is filled in white. So this one is empty, so we'll just break it. Ooh, interesting. 9 throwing daggers, nice. Those are probably more powerful than my rocks. Let's equip those. Let's see, ranged. Throwing daggers. Cannot equip the throwing daggers. To use, you must earn and spend devotion to improve your attributes. Okay, so the throwing daggers need, let's see here. That need a finesse of 5. Okay, and I have a finesse of 0. All right, so I can't use those throwing daggers yet. Unfortunately, that would have been nice. Throwing daggers are pretty powerful. It's good to have some ranged weapons in this game just because, and there's some more rocks. We'll pick up some more rocks. We have 10 rocks. So the main window on the left-hand side there is giving you a text breakdown of everything that has happened. This guy's asleep. We can attack. All right, wait for my poise to go back up. There we go. Got surprised there. Okay, so this little square to the right here is a pad that you can press a button and it will unlock something in the dungeon. Gears turn beneath your feet as something on the level unlocks. So usually there's like secret doors or there are barriers, magical barriers that will be closed and you have to find those switches in order to open them so you can make it through. And I'm following the walls because a lot of times you will find secret doors by moving close to the walls. And you'll hear a sound and that will trigger your desire to look around and find the wall that has the hidden path, because usually there are treasure chests or cool things that you can find. All right, keep exploring this dungeon. We got surprise there. Go back into sneak mode. If you don't sneak and you move through this grass, it makes a lot of noise. So one thing I'm not sure if it's coming through or not is the audio in this game is really good. I have it balanced just on one channel with the volume right now, so I'm not sure if the audio is going to come through, but man, the music in this game is so good and the sound effects are cool. Just has a really good vibe. I love the look of it. I love the old school look, and yeah, like I said, I was just really wanting an old school style Ultima game, and man, did this ever scratch the itch, because it's so easy to get to run on modern systems. Sometimes with those old games, it can be a real pain in the butt to get them to run properly. I haven't gone back and played Ultima in a long time, but this has completely scratched that itch. So we found a lockpick. The lockpicks can be used to open doors, and a lot of times out in the wilds, you will find these fortresses, and the fortresses will have locked doors, and you need lockpicks to get through them. Now, fire in this game can be very deadly. This grass can catch on fire if we knock over that flame there, and then the fire will spread. So being on fire sucks in real life. And in this game, you can fill bottles up with water to put yourself out. So I'm just waiting for this fire to go down. Man, this fire's lasting forever. Opening, looks like it's over here. Oh man, that guy killed me. All right, so there we go. So we get died by that beetle, and now we're at the outside of the dungeon. I was really surprised. That must have been a more powerful beetle. Huh. Okay. Oh well, we died in the first dungeon there. Let's leave. Actually, no, let's go through this. I'm going to go through this dungeon again. That was unfortunate, because we do need, this is kind of how we set up the game here for our quest. There is an item that we find here that kind of sets us off on this quest here. So I'll just have to be more careful. All right. I'm pretty sure we were pretty close to the treasure too. Didn't have that much more to explore. That was really unfortunate. That was a total rookie mistake. I just wasn't paying attention. But that's how these games are, man. These these old school dungeon crawls like this. You're doing well until all of a sudden you are not. And man, things can go bad really quickly. Okay, these bats can be bad news. They can cause some bleeding. And then to cure your bleeding, you need to have some bandages. Excuse me, bandages. But I don't think I have any right now, so I don't want to bleed. There's a chest. 64 guineas. We have 240 guineas. Nice. There's some more rocks. Here's a pad. Somewhere a great heat is quenched. So somewhere we put out some kind of fire barrier that we might need to walk through. All right. Let's see here. Okay, let's head back over. We'll head up. There we go. So there was a little barrier there and we just turned it off. So that's probably the way we need to go. Usually the barriers are preventing you from getting to where you need to go. Very rarely does opening a barrier lead to something unimportant. Okay. Scraps of ancient metal. Those are things we can sell. I think we can also use scraps of ancient metal to build things. Okay, my poise is down to 40. Let me build that up again by waiting. And as you're waiting, things in the dungeon are continuing to move. Oh man, that guy, that's the strong guy there. Uh-oh, this is bad. Let's see here. Can I... Uh-oh. So that noise, that was my poise being broken. So now every damage I take is going to be to actual health. Oh, man. Okay. We found a shiny silver key. Okay, that's not the master key, though. But, man, I only have 89 out of 400 health. So I need to use my healing item, which is my my life stone. All right. So healed some health there, luckily. Man, that was those white beetles. Those can be nasty to a level 1 character there. All right, let's, there's some bolts there. We unlocked that door. We unlocked the door with the, probably the small key we just found. Found some arrows. There's another door. It's locked. The door seems magically sealed. Okay, so we probably need to find one of those pressure plates to open it. Got an antidote. Okay, let's see here. All right, let's head back down. All right, hopefully we're getting close here to the end of this dungeon so we can move on. Okay, there we go. Gears turn beneath your feet, something on the level unlocks. Okay, so I'm pretty sure, whoop, sneak attack there by that bug. Mushroom pie, moldy mushroom pie, nice. And I'm pretty sure that door unlocked. So let's go back to that door. Bash, bash, bash. Something is going on behind this door. All right. Oh, wow. Okay. Let's see. That's a wolf there. Very strong attack. Man, this I played all through this yesterday and there were not these stronger enemies in this in this first dungeon. Okay. There we go. You found a carved steel key. Okay, still not the master key. But I think that steel key will open up the chest that has the what we're looking for in it. Did we open this up? Yep. Okay. All right. It's probably in here somewhere. Man, a giant spider. These dungeons are being really deadly. There we go. Usually the master key is over on one of these bridges. So let's see. Black Eye Stone. There we go. The stone looks like the one your father spoke of in the note. Perhaps Calera will know something about it. And you picked up the master key for this dungeon. We can now leave via the exit. Cool. All right. So let's head back to our town, our little farm here, and we will talk to our friend about the magic stone that we found. And then we can head out into the overworld and I'll show you that. Because man, the overworld is super cool. Where's the exit? There's the little white arrow pointing up. So we need to go left, down, okay? Left, down, left, down. And there's our stairs. There we go. Okay. You insert the master key into the door at the top of the stairs. The key turns to dust as the doors open into the outside world. Okay, now let's go find our little friend and talk to him. There we go. All right, where did you get that stone? Karam must have left it for you. There is an engraving. Keeper of the Serpent's Eye. I wonder what that can mean. Type something. Serpent's Eye. Perhaps the priests of Moon upon Thos know what it means. They are wiser than I. What is Moon upon Thos? The capital is our best customer. Okay, so they buy a lot of our goods from the farm. I'm grateful they are so close. It certainly cuts down on trader fees. Close? You can practically see its lights over there, glimmering to the southwest. Okay, you now know the whereabouts of Moon upon Thos. Use M to check your map when you are ready. What about trader fees? Don't misunderstand. I'm grateful they lug our produce to town. I just wish they were less expensive. Okay. Okay, so we've basically done everything that we can do right now in our starter farm here. If we open up our map and we zoom out, we can see that we need to travel all the way down here to Moon upon Thos. It's not as far as it looks. So if we zoom out, we can get a bigger view. So this is a big open world. This is a 2D huge open world questing game. And now we are heading out into the overland. So we zoom out and now we are playing like Runebound. There we were in a game like I don't know, like Quest for the Lost Pixel or something, or a dungeon crawl. Zoomed in one of these zoomed in maps in Folklore the Affliction. And now we're in the hex crawl portion of a board game. And we are traveling around this town. When we want to enter, when we want to zoom in, we can automatically by hitting enter. and that will put us in the terrain where we are in, and we can walk around and explore. We can find little animals that we can hunt in order to get food because we do need to eat. And to exit the zoomed in area, we can either leave by the edge or we can hit return to exit. So there is a bug over there. That is a random encounter. We can go fight the bug. And there are a lot of bugs here. Oh man, yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on here. Not too strong though. All right, we got some scraps there. Now these are badgers, and the badgers we can attack and we can get their meat. All right, we got some badger meat. He might escape. Oh, he escaped. Okay, but we do have some badger meat, and our food is down to 84%. So let's go ahead and eat that food. There's our food. Food can go moldy, and when it goes moldy and you eat it, you still get some benefits, but you will also get sick. Let's eat our badger meat. All right, and let's go ahead and escape here. So there are these roads here. If you follow a road, you will eventually come to some kind of civilization. So that's the best way to get around the map. However, there are a lot of things, a lot of side quests, a lot of things that you need to do where you will need to leave the road. And when you leave the road, you can find other things. You just saw that flower icon. So there's an herb here. So we can enter this area and now we can hunt for these herbs. And the things we want to hunt, they will be bright white. And the herbs we can use in alchemy to create different types of potions. But it can be pretty difficult to find the ingredient list, the recipes themselves. So there's our herb. We'll pick that up, and now we can leave. So those wiggly lines to the east of, or to the west of me, that is the fog. If I spend too much time in the fog, I will go mad. And I don't have any oil in my lantern. Let's put some oil in my lantern to protect me. So let's see here. Amberbane ward oil. I'll click on that and pour into my ward. Okay, so now I am protected from the madness. I have that little shining light around me. So that means I'm protected from the madness. Let's see. To the northeast is the Yarrow Farm. That's where we came from. Southwest is the Moon upon Thos. And the east is Winter Shoal. We want to go to Moon upon Thos. So we'll keep following this road here. Sometimes you will see little bandits and bats. Sometimes you will see question marks. Here is a dungeon that you can go into. Sometimes random dungeons, you will learn about their whereabouts and then you can discover them. Fight this bandit. All right, we got some money there. We'll leave. There's another herb. There's a hedgehog. You can get some hedgehog meat. Sorry, little guy. Buzzards got to eat, same as the worms. All right, let me see if I can find the herb around here. There it is. I love bump combat. It's so fun. All right, I'm going to eat some of this hedgehog meat before it goes bad. And let's exit here. And now let's go into Moon upon Thos. So as you can see, there's a boat there. So we can hire a boat. And the boat will take us to different islands. We can also buy a boat where we can sail across the sea on our own accord. And there's a lot of islands. There are a lot of things to discover out in the sea as well. Towns are considered safe havens, so the use of weapons is prohibited. So you will default to not having your weapon out when you are in a town so you can't accidentally kill somebody. However, this being an old school, completely open game, you can turn off friendly fire and now I can go around and just kill everybody in the town if I wanted to, completely ruining my game. But hey, it's totally up to you. We have a weapon shop there. We have a place where we can buy food. This town is pretty big. There's all kinds of things to explore here. Over here is the harbor. I can talk to him. I can talk to this guy, Funslinger. I can travel to Barrel Inn, which is one of the islands for $113. I don't want to do that yet. I can go up here to buy a boat. And the boat costs 135,000 guinea. I have 380. Okay, that's not going to happen. There is a more, let's say, violent way that you can obtain a boat. I'll leave that for you to discover on your own. But in this city, the main thing we want to do to progress the game is talk to the priests. Let's talk to this lady here. She might give us a clue here. Hey, stranger. I'm Hadriel. Welcome to Moon upon Thas. Yes, this is the city of balance. Balance is important, yes? Balance is everything. Without balance, there is chaos. That's the state of Caldera. That's the state Caldera was in before the 5 moons appeared. Moons. I've no desire to return to that. Darkness, madness, despair. No, thank you. Moons? You know, we have 1 moon per god. Everybody knows that. Oh, you're dreamless. Now I understand. So everybody has a dream in this game, and in the dream, they learn about which god they're supposed to follow. But once every generation or so, somebody is born who is dreamless, the chosen one. I am dreamless, so my character gets to choose which gods to follow. The other characters in this world do not. We get a lot of you through here. You've come to petition, of course. Petition. Well, the old Archon is getting on a bit. The Dreamless can become an Archon because they can help keep balance because they are not chosen by a god. You should talk to the priests about that. They are in the Street of the Gods. That's a little way to the east. Watch out, though. The priest will talk your ear off. Okay. So we've learned a whole bunch from her. Let's go talk to the priests. We'll go over here. And the Street of the Gods here, like Lean Times and Lankmar over here. Fotford and Grey Mouse are hanging out, drinking from the jug. And here we have the main priest, Tori. So some conversation topics are hidden and do not autocomplete because they have not come up in conversation. For example, here you should specifically ask about the serpent's eye. Try it now by typing it in. Type something. Serpent's eye. The serpent's eye. I'm afraid it is not familiar. But I have not been here for very long. Perhaps you should look for my predecessor. Okay. Predecessor. Oh, I should type that. Predecessor. If I can type here. Predecessor. Yes. Their name was Nevin. I'm afraid they became quite addled some time ago and now reside as a shell in the ruined quarter. If you see them, speak their name. What's a shell? It is terrible to see those who were great lose their minds, but it happens. What can one do? What's the ruined quarter? It is in the northwest of the city. Good luck on your search. Let's ask him about balance. Indeed, my job is to remain neutral and support the will of our Archon. What's the Archon? Archon Elweld is still wise despite their many years of service. Without their wisdom, Caldera would fall to chaos. Many years? The Archon has given us 30 years of service. But now it's time for a successor to appear. Those who wish to become the Archon's successor must collect the 5 relics and bring them here. This is the main quest of the game. This is what we're trying to do. Okay, 5 relics. Let's see, chaos. I thought I could type 5 relics, but I guess not. The followers of the 5 are fractious. Without the Archon, there would be war. Such is the way of people, eh? 5? Indeed, you should speak to the other priests. They will be happy to find a willing ear. Caldera, our beloved land lit by the moons of the 5. Can we learn more about the moons? Do you not know your history? Before 5 appeared in the sky, there was endless dark. Okay, let's talk about the endless dark here. Can you imagine a land where no crops grow? A land with no light? This is why we give thanks to the 5. Dream or no dream, it is their power that grants us light. Indeed, you should speak to the other priests. They will be happy to find a willing ear. All right. So I usually side here with the wolf god here because the wolf god is strength, and I usually like to play a warrior. Let's talk to Vanora. Welcome, child. Come out into the clean air and parlay. Clean air. the city would have us all choke on smoke and stale air. So the wolf god, they like to live outside. And as you can see, his little area here in the city is represented by being outside. They are the wild group. We belong outside like our kin creatures. The wolves, of course, they are honest, loyal, and honor not, but that which is strong. Okay, now I think I was supposed to get a devotional tier. Did I get that and I just skipped it? Let's see. The last time, do I not have the devotional tier already? Oh, enter to devote yourself to this god's gift. Dedicate yourself to the great forest wolf. Abstain from fleeing. So each of the gods has a thing that you have to abstain from, or else you will acquire sin and you will kind of break your trust with that faction. You can be absolved from your sin. So if you devote yourself to the wolf god, you can't flee from battle. You can't completely escape from battle. That's cowardice. So we will devote ourselves to the wolf god. Okay, the wolf gods are now, the gifts are 50% cheaper. All right, so those gifts along the side, these are skills that we can learn. Right now, I don't have any points because I haven't done anything for the wolf god. However, one of the first things I need to do is visit the wolf's hometown. And so let's do that. That'll be the last thing we do in this demonstration of this game. Unless we find... We might be able to find some side quests to do. Oh, I hear there's a dungeon with 100 floors. Okay, I've never seen that before. But then one hears all sorts of things. Okay, a dungeon with 100 floors. Wow. We can learn of other side quests, and you will get those pointed out on your map. The last time I played, I ran into an NPC in here, and they told me about a secret tunnel. But yeah, I didn't see them walking around, so I don't know. But we're going to head over to the wolf town. Let's fight some bats here. Every time I start over, and I've started over a few times in my 11 hours playing, I've had a somewhat different experience. And so there's a lot of replayability in this game. I mean, especially for free. How crazy is just, yeah, this game is amazing for how little it costs. Nothing. And it's not just good because it's not just, there's no caveats to it being great. I'm not saying that it's good for, for a free game, it's okay. No, if I paid $50 for this game, I would be happy with what I got. That is how much I like this game. Oh shoot, I'm getting my butt kicked here by these bandits. I need to get some poise back. This guy's almost dead. Got him. These archers are killing me. Let's see if I can toss a rock. Nope. Uh-oh, my poise is broken. Get my poise back. Boom, bomb combat. All right, nice, okay. But hardly any money there. There's some rocks. So as you can see, that battle wasn't very beneficial for me. No XP, there's no XP in this game. There's a flower, I'll skip that. I'm hoping to find one of those random encounters. Okay, so there's some prey. And prey, those will be usually stronger beasts that you can attack, like a deer. And actually killing a deer is one of the side quests for the wolf god. Berries. Berries are very important. Berries are a really good way to heal that you don't have to pay for. So whenever you see a berry out in the open, you want to enter into the world and grab your berries. Okay. Sometimes you will see these question marks moving around, and those are random encounters. They can be with merchants. They can be with powerful magical creatures. So all kinds of different things that you can discover in the game. And like I said, every time I've started over, I've found something different. So there's a cave over there. This is a dungeon. The doors will be locked, so we could enter this. And usually these little dungeons are only one floor. We might learn about a side quest that can happen in that dungeon. So we won't go in there right now. It's very similar to the dungeon that we went to at the beginning of the game. But each dungeon does have its own kind of flavor, its own feel. It has its own vibe, its look, its own tile set. So there are some cool reasons to go into a dungeon. Sometimes you can find cool weapons, pieces of armor. There are all kinds of things to find in the dungeons. And you can enter them multiple times. So there's an orc. That's a pretty strong enemy. I don't think I can sneak by him. Okay, wait for that cloud to pass. All right, we did it. Okay. So that's a wolf enemy, and he is mad because he's been hanging out in that fog too much. So you don't want to attack enemies in the fog because they will often be joined by more powerful creatures. Okay, what's the finding kindling? Okay, so there's kindling. Kindling is really good to find because it can help you build campsites. I think it was in this square. Maybe it was in the square to the north of us. I don't see the white kindling here. Oh, no, there it was. Right there. All right, collected the kindling. There it is. Boom. Okay, we found our kindling. We'll leave. And now over here's a fortress. And the fortresses will usually be just little side quests, little things that you can go. They will usually have a door that is unlocked. Now, the enemies in the fortresses can be really hard because they are kind of like automatons. And they are somewhat mechanical. And there are turrets, like gun turrets and weird kind of tank things and robot things. This game has a mix of science and fantasy, which is cool. Kind of like Caves of Cud, but not quite as weird. Oh, wow. So here is a turret, and the turret opened the door. So this fortress is unlocked. And these guys are pretty cool to fight because of the way that their movement works. So see, they're targeting, and they only will target certain times while we are moving. And we can dodge, because it's turn-based, we can dodge their bullets. But I have no chance to destroy these guys, so I'm just going to leave. Now, I left there, and because I escaped from combat, I committed a sin against my wolf god. And as you can see, the wolf icon over there in the upper left is starting to fill in with a different color. If that ever gets full, I have broken my tenets with the god. Okay, but now I'm going to go mad. So I'll show you what happens when you go mad here. All right, so now crazy, everything's gone psychedelic. I'm mad. Madness causes you to rant and rave and hallucinate nearby amber entities. So amber entities, these are secret creatures that can attack you now because of your madness. All damage will increase your stun, and you aren't able to talk to people inside towns until your madness wears off. And everything's all crazy, psychedelic colors now. And I'm talking to myself, dance, dance, dance. I really don't want to fight. And also your movement can be messed up to where you won't actually move or attack in the direction that you want to. But there are also hidden things that you can only find while being mad. So it's a cool system. I like it. And again, there are the death penalties for the things, the bad stuff that happens to you in this game. It's not super punishing. So if you're playing, just take chances. Go out and take a lot of chances because it's not like you'll lose hours worth of game time. At most, you might lose 20 minutes or something. But you will have learned something, and that's another way that you progress in this game. It's not just by your character's skill, but by the things that you learn as the player are just as important. Speaking of that, so there is a wizard here. Let's see if I can toss a rock at them. My poise is broken. I need to gain some of my poise back. An unknown device. So we need Rosetta Stones to determine what these unknown devices are. We have to, excuse me, we have to identify them. Kill this wizard. Blindness. Oh no, he got me with blindness. I don't know where he is. There he is. I found him. There we go. An unknown device. Interesting. So I found 2 unknown devices. That's pretty cool. Okay, so I think we have... All right. And now we have found our next town here. You completed a devotional task. Visit the wolf's hometown. Your actions pleased the great forest wolf. 2 devotion points. All right, so we have 2 devotion points now. Let's go back out here and I will go into my God screen. I have 2 points. So I can buy these new abilities. I really like this ability here, Shockwave, because not only does it help you do damage, but you can also move a great distance in the battle maps. That's usually the first one I get. So I'm going to select that. And then I'm going to assign that to number 1 here. And now I'll show you how you can use that. So I'll enter into a battle map here. Oh, whoa. I didn't even know there was creatures here. That was a surprise attack. Okay, let's, okay, so we should probably kill this wizard first. He's protecting. Let's go ahead and use my number 1. And I am going to land right here. Boom. All right, did some damage. Killed him. Trying to get these guys close to each other. Come on. There we go. Okay, I'm going to use my 1 again. I'm going to land here so I can damage both of them. Boom. Nice. Nice. Astaria root and 70 guinea. Very cool. That was a really good encounter there. That was fun. But now we can enter in the city of our god. And here we can find out more information. We can hire help. We will learn about the quest of this god, because each of the 5 gods has a relic that you need to get. You take those relics back to Moon upon Thos, and then that will kind of trigger the in-game scenario. And so yeah, so that was Moonring. As you can see, this game has a lot of appeal to fans of the kinds of games we cover on the Dungeon Dive, and that's really why I wanted to cover this game. I think it's fantastic, especially because it's 100% free, no strings attached. The developer, designer, Dene Carter, just wanted to give something back to the world, to inject some positivity into the world, and man, did he ever do that. This is one of my favorite games I've played in years. I have loved it so much. I've put in 11 hours already, and I've kind of gotten nowhere. I just kind of keep starting over to see what happens. And every time I do, I learn more and I make more progress. And so, yeah, it's just great. And it runs on everything. You can play it on a Steam Deck with a controller. Remember, you have to launch the game in that beta mode. I've played it on my TV. The game looks amazing on an OLED monitor on my OLED Steam Deck because of all the blacks. Man, it just absolutely pops. And yeah, it's just really fun. This is a great old school style game. So yeah, we'll see. If this video does well, I might cover more games like this. You know, I like the board games that we cover. I would not spend a lot of time, if ever, covering big popular games that a lot of channels cover. But it would just be these kinds of small little indie dungeon crawl and fantasy and science fiction and adventure games. So all right, guys, well, I hope you enjoyed this video. We will talk to you later. Bye-bye.